Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'm going to talk a little bit about one of my favorite little passions that I don't really get into that often. And it has to do with records, old records that are 10-inch size in diameter. They're not 12-inch LPs. Yeah, they're not exactly 78s, although I do like 78s too, shellac records. But those are more like singles, right? This is what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about 10-inch size records like this that are kind of like LPs in their own. I wonder what LPM, right? That's what they call them, LP. That's got to mean long play. Before we got to the 12-inch record, this was before that. And most of the time, they're old records, although some of you, I'm sure, know from collecting and going to record store day and stuff. Sometimes new modern records are also offered in the 10-inch format, right? Well, there's a good story with this that I want to tell first. It starts out with I was at my record store one day, and as frequently happens, people come in to sell their records to the store. Now, my role there as a customer, as a spectator, is you kind of have to stand there when these records come in. Sometimes they're lousy records, sometimes they're great records. And when they're great records, you gotta stand there and kind of look disinterested, like you gotta put on your best poker face, like as if you're not really at all interested in good records. Well, these weren't good records. It was a nice older woman who came in. She wanted to sell her record. She had 10-inch records. She had some 78s and some LPs too, I think, but they were really the type of thing you see at thrift stores, and the store didn't really want them. So they said, "I'm sorry, there's no market for these. We don't have any interest in these." So what I do then is I never interfere. You see, you can't, as I said, you can't show any interest if you're interested. And what you do is, if there's anything you want to buy, after the record store completes their sale and makes the transaction, then when the person leaves, you hop on it. You say, "Hey, I want to buy this from the record store." So unfortunately, you kind of have to pay a little more because you're going through the record store. But from time to time, if they pass up the records and they don't want them, you can simply jump in there. After the record store refuses and says, "No, I'm sorry," then I can say, "Excuse me, if you want, I'm willing to buy a couple of these." So anyway, let's get to it. The woman had, as far as the 10-inch records go, she had about, let's say, about 40 or 50 of them. I managed to secure 9 of them. And what I did was I picked these records out and I said to the woman, I said, "If you want, I'll give you like $1 each for these." And she said, "No, no, just take them, just take them." Because what they do is, sometimes if the record store doesn't offer to buy them, sometimes they'll just leave them there. They'd rather just like leave them at the record store, have the record store, disperse with them, throw whatever that word is that I'm looking for. Throw them out, maybe give them away, maybe put them on, sell them for a quarter or something. So in this case, I took a stack, and she didn't want the money. So I'm like, all right, I felt bad, but she insisted. So I said, "Okay, thank you." And it was very nice of her to do that. So anyway, the first one I'm going to show you is probably out of this batch, the one I'm going to probably not keep. I don't know. Maybe I'll keep it. I don't know. It's a Sentimental Date with Perry, a Perry Como record. These are so cool. I just love these 10-inch records. I just love. They have maybe like this one has 8 songs. They don't have as much on them as LPs. The traditional 12-inch LPs, I should say, because these are still considered, I guess, LPs. But Perry Como, But I like Benny Goodman and I like big band stuff. And I have a lot of Benny Goodman albums, actually, and other big band titles. So this is Benny Goodman and his orchestra. RCA Victor. Yeah, there's something about these. They're almost always in poor condition or weak. If not in poor condition, you would say weak condition. Let's put it that way. Okay, we got a couple of Frank Sinatra records here. This one here, I know I already have this. Get Happy from Frank, Columbia Records. It's got the Columbia 6i. This is just cool. And this one in particular looks immaculate. I mean, this really looks in great shape, this one. Usually these are pretty well worn, you know. But these are so cool to have. I just love the 10-inch records. I really do like collecting these. And here's another one from Frank, Swing Easy. I'm pretty sure I have this. I know I have this, the 12-inch version of this record, but this one here, of course, the 10-inch edition of it. Nelson Riddle. Really, it's just so cool. You know, really, guys. I mean, you know, this is on Capitol, and the next one I have another Sinatra here in the Wee Small Hours Part 1. You know, which it's sort of, what a great cover. Again, I have this in really near mint shape on a 12-inch record. But these are so much fun to play. This is Capitol Records. I wanted to see if one of these was open from the side without me having to take this out, but I guess why not? People like to see this kind of stuff. This protective envelope is another example of the care used by Capitol to bring you records in ideal condition for the finest sound reproduction. It keeps your record dust-free and helps guard the grooves against scratches and abrasion, etc. Well, the sides are still open anyway, but this is also in beautiful shape. This is like rarely played, if ever. Look at that. That is beautiful. It's in great, great shape. Oh, look at that. Thumbnail, anyone? Jeez. I don't know if I'll use it or not. I'm probably going to put one of the Frank Sinatras up. We'll see. Okay. Next up, the Dorseys. You know, I like the Dorseys too, and that big band stuff. Jimmy Dorsey and his orchestra with Bob Eberly and Helen O'Connell. All right, there we go. This record, Decca, it's upside down. The Decca label. I mean, the labels are cool. I love just putting a 10-inch record on, playing it. You know, having to go to more to the center of the turntable, not really quite the center like with a 45, but. How about some Bing Crosby? Let's see what this says. Cowboy songs. Now, look at that. I love Bing's voice. Had a great voice, Bing did. This is also a Decca record, so you know what the Decca label looks like. Really nice. Yeah, I just love collecting these. As I say oftentimes about different things, I'm a sucker for certain things, and I'm a sucker when you get this stuff here. Here's another Dorsey, Tommy Dorsey, and his orchestra with vocals. I don't really like vocals as much. I kind of prefer when it's just instrumentals, but and you got masking tape on here, you see. But it's almost like when I find these kinds of records, I don't want them to be too pristine. You know, I don't mind the record being pristine. This is a rather boring cover. It's the last one I'm going to show you. Benny Goodman Dance Parade. And it assures you its record is non-breakable. Okay? Yeah, well, there you have it. It's another Columbia record. Let's just get a look at the label. Of course, I got the old-fashioned Columbia label there. And that's all she wrote, folks. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Please hit the bell for notifications so you know when I have another video, you'll be alerted. And I'm having a grand old time again collecting these records. Later, folks.